And yo, the Sports Bag Bros podcast is back at you on a Thursday. This is the second of our two shows that we have every week. Keep an eye on us on Monday. This is Thursday. Always something going on in the sports world. There's basketball. Now baseball started up today, but you know what? It's not grinding out just about yet. We got basketball, the NCAA Tournament, Sweet 16s today. We have Caitlin Clark news. We have WNBA. Well, that's Clayton Clark news. We have female basketball news. Well, that's Caitlin Clark news.
Big three. That's Caitlin Clark news too.
Yeah.
Nothing she has anything to do with, but NFL rule changes. Rule changes. As you see, usually I wear a White Sox hat anyway, but I got my City Connect jersey, baddest one in MLB.
Yeah.
No, White Sox may suck, and I'm not expecting big things. You can put in the comments, man, White Sox suck. I already know that shit. But you can't fuck with our City Connect jersey. No other team got anything like the White Sox.
Don't think it's hot. I'm not gonna lie, bro. The joints is hot right there, man.
Hey, I gotta hang on to something, man.
Yeah, for real, you gotta get something out of it. Get that.
Garrett Crochet, he only pitched out of the bullpen. He started opening day. I didn't think it made much sense today. He went 6 strong innings. They got a bunch of hits and a cheap ass run on a sac fly, but of course the offense can't score. But anyway, nobody wants to hear White Sox. Let's get it started.
They might want to hear Yankees. They're tied up now.
I just thought I mentioned. Hey, Garrett Crochet had a really strong start. 8 Ks, no walks. There you go.
There we go. Let's roll. So yeah, man, we're talking about some things now. Do you want to get to the Caitlin Clark first because the 3-on-3 basketball was offering her some serious money? $5 million is nothing to laugh at. In fact, she'll be making more than anybody in the WNBA before she even gets there if she does that. Well, she can't do both, I guess.
It's a bold move and a bold offer from Ice Cube and his Big Three organization. I believe the average salary right now in the WNBA is $250,000. Yeah. So it would take her 10 years in the WNBA to make what they offered. But I'm sure, you know, I heard Rebecca Lobo talking about there's a new TV deal coming up with Caitlin Clark. You know, maybe salaries go up. But if she didn't have all the NIL deals, she probably would consider it. $5 million compared to, let's say, she's going to get paid. But how much are they going to pay her? $300,000? They're not going to break her off with $800,000 a year when everybody else is only making $200,000 or $250,000, right? Not as a rookie coming in, I don't think.
They're already hating her. We already know how rookie contracts can go. You know, before they settled everything.
Plus, it's not like a USFL, NFL thing where she has another option to go to.
Yeah.
I don't think the Big Three is a real option. Why would she want to go play 3-on-3 half court? You know, if it was
the money
a men's league, well, yeah. But if it was a men's league and at least they're playing full court, maybe. But 3-on-3, I don't know. Like, it's basketball, but then again, it's not basketball. Really, right? Is it really competitive basketball? And I know the Big Three, they're former NBA players and they go hard, but it's not. I've watched it. I'm sure you've watched it. It's not high quality basketball.
No.
I mean, they put in
entertainment though. That's what you want. You want to be entertained in between the lines or in between the time, watching 3-on-3 basketball with some names you can at least remember. You know, go do it. Oh, this is what he's been up to all this time, playing 3-on-3 basketball. He got a little something in, not exactly what we used to seeing. Bro, it's entertainment. And I think if she brings something to the table, it's going to be the entertainment factor. It's going to be the curiosity factor. And of course, bro, if you're going to get $5 million as opposed to possibly $250,000 with the WNBA or even $300,000 with the WNBA, it's not $5 million. But at the same time, she's going to have so many endorsements coming out. She's getting paid all the way around.
Yeah, but other than the money, what does she have to win? If she performs really well, oh, well, yeah, you cooked a 42-year-old former, you know, and he had to leave the game early because he had a cramp. I mean, if she doesn't perform well, then what? See, she's not that good. Women can't play with men, even old men. Like, there's nothing other than the money that she benefits. I don't see a benefit for her.
That's what I'm saying. I'm thinking Ice Cube from a PR standpoint is throwing it out there. I think he knows for 100% sure or truth that she's not going to accept something like that. She has so many options. The $5 million mark won't even mean anything because of the endorsement she's probably and likely is going to get coming into the league and then getting into the WNBA. You know what? She may be the reason why these salaries go up. And just like the NFL, before they started putting the caps on the rookies, remember there were rookies in which the future was mortgaged, getting all of this freaking money that they probably shouldn't have gotten, and the bust, like Tim Couch, like Ryan Leaf, and a whole bunch of others you could name, were getting a bunch of damn money and not showing up or doing anything, and that was just money lost. You know, if the WNBA, if she got $3 million right now, even though they're catching losses, if she's going to be the reason why there are more eyeballs, more sponsorships, and more money coming into the league, you know, it may be worth the gamble. And I don't think it really is a gamble. She is going to be that magnet.
Definitely. She already has State Farm, McDonald's, maybe a Gatorade. So it's not like she's going to be hurting for money. She probably has the 10 in the bank already.
That's what I'm thinking. She has something.
And if she starts performing, she's going to be the face of the league.
Yep.
She's going to get more endorsements. So she doesn't really need her salary to be all that high. She's going to make it off the court. It's just all the hate she's going to get. You know, we spoke about it before. People are not going to like it because she's the face of the league coming in as a rookie. And even if she wasn't white, they probably wouldn't like her. You know, like when Michael came into the league, he got hate because he was wearing his gold chain during the dunk contest. Who the fuck cares about a gold chain? But veterans in the league, they didn't like that.
Yeah, so, between their snorting coke and him wearing a gold chain, they didn't like that part. Come on, man.
She's gonna face some adversity. You know, probably, I don't know if within her locker room, but you never know. It could be within her own locker room. Yeah, definitely from other teams. And when you see her face on this commercial, on that commercial, they're gonna really resent her. So hopefully she can deal with it. But they need to realize the attention that she gets, they're gonna get some of that because of what she's bringing. The attention
they're gonna get most of that because of what
fans in the stands wouldn't be there if she wasn't there.
Yeah, but we already know, and I was about to say earlier, to the chagrin of the people in the WNBA and probably even her teammates, regardless of where she goes, we already see the writing on the wall. We've talked about it on this very podcast, how the writing is on the wall, whether something like USA Today is writing nonsense about how the face needs to be a black face, making it all about race, nothing about basketball. And then you have her coming into the league, and it seems like these women, when you listen to people like Cheryl Swoops, like there's a plan to sabotage her or, you know, really do something to her so she can't perform at the highest levels. And it's going to be atrocious if something like that happens, especially if it's even on her own team. I doubt it. But you could probably, because you're looking for it, see the subtleties if something like that does happen. People dropping clear passes, that kind of thing, or missing things. You know, it's going into it. I think it's the wrong thing they're looking at because we keep hearing, either seeing article after article, or you're getting insinuation after insinuation of someone saying, oh, bro, this is just not going to be easy because of the basketball. It's going to be because we don't want her here, but we want the benefit of if she is here.
Yeah, I just hope that players around the league realize she's going to be good for their product.
Mm-hmm.
She's going to be good for women's basketball. People are talking about the women's NCAA tournament, and nobody ever talks about the women's NCAA tournament. It might be that they're getting more attention than the men's side because we spoke about it before. Men's college basketball just isn't what it used to be.
Nope.
But, you know, March Madness was still March Madness. You had upsets, you had close games. So I don't know if I agree with that, but just the fact that people are talking about it, saying that it's a possibility, or before it was never a possibility.
It's the household names in this NCAA tournament. I don't think we really have a lot of household names on the men's side. I don't know if it's because we haven't really kept up with it as much as we probably would have, or is it because of that element of not being able to attract those types of fans who keep up with college basketball because of those star power players and programs. There aren't programs that are star-studded anymore. You have this UConn team, not necessarily star-studded, but they're the odds-on favorite to win the tournament. And with at least in the women's side, you do have her, you do have Juju, you have a handful of women that you at least know of. Even when you talk about Dawn Staley, you know about the coach. You know what I mean?
That's
going
true,
into the
yeah.
tournament. When was the last time that happened? Pat Summit or Gino Ariamo? And he was a guy. He still is. I think. Come on.
You never know nowadays.
No, man.
Not
this guy. Come on.
His way. Just saying.
But now, you know, speaking of today, you have the NCAA tournament coming up. The men's part, the Sweet 16 is here, and there are games on the ledger. And well, there was a list of about, I think, 6 games that are coming on today, and pretty popular game. The one that really stood out to me the most is probably the Gonzaga game. The Gonzaga playing Purdue. I think that stands out more than anything.
Yeah, that should be
well, Friday they're playing Purdue tomorrow in terms of the 3-16 overall.
That should be a good matchup. They got a big guy themselves, right? Not 7'4", but
6'10". No one's over 6'10".
I thought I heard they had a 7'2" guy.
Well, no one of impact is over 6'10".
Oh, he's just 7'2".
Because the deal is this: they played before already, and Gonzaga was up at the half, and then ultimately lost about 10 points. So they've played before. Now, Gonzaga is a different team, as we talked about on Monday, than they were earlier in the season. This time around, they don't have those star players, not someone you're looking at and saying, man, this guy's guaranteed to go to the NBA and be a lottery pick this year, as they've had in the past. But you see they're playing better now, especially after that Kentucky game. They went into Lexington, they won over there, and then ever since then, they've been hot, and the only loss they've had was in the West Coast Conference, playoffs or championship tournament, when they played St. Mary's, who also came out of there and represented the West Coast Conference. But aside from that, they've been a pretty damn hot team, and they've gone into the tournament, and up until this game, hitting 50% from 3 points. 18 of 36, man. And both teams hit 3-pointers. I think Purdue may lead the nation in 3-point shooting, but Edey is going to be the difference.
Yeah, that's why I said if that guy, they have a guy 7'2", at least there's some size. Because sometimes he just reaches over the guy in front of him to get the offensive rebound.
Yeah.
You got a guy 7'2" in front of him, that's less likely to happen. They'll probably call over the back because he will be going over the back. But for Purdue, to me, Edey is Edey. He's going to get some easy looks inside because of his size. He's going to get some putbacks. He's going to get anywhere 18 to 25 and 12 rebounds. That's just what he does. He's consistent. But for Purdue, it's their guard. Their guards play. We've seen their guards get locked up from time to time.
Yeah, last year too.
Yeah, and sometimes they can't get the ball to Edey. So what happens when it's a tight game going down the stretch and the guards have been struggling all day and Edey's kind of bottled up? It's going to be interesting.
Well, Mark Few has worked himself into being one of the elite coaches in college basketball over the past couple of decades now. Before, you always talked about Gonzaga and you kept on references, or people would reference just John Stockton. Now, with Mark Few being as successful as he has been, he's had names come through, lottery names come through. Adam Morrison, I believe, was the first player outside of a John Stockton kind of player that came that was, people knew about. Obviously didn't pan out in the NBA, but he's had other players since then. I think Chet Holmgren, the superstar that's in the making right now, is a player that comes from Gonzaga, is about to do his thing as well. So, and other players in the past. But I think it's intriguing to me only because they're both great 3-point shooting teams. And it's typically hard to beat a team twice. But then I think about that West Coast Conference tournament in which, look at the entire season, St. Mary's beat Gonzaga twice. Like, man, I guess it isn't as difficult. But this is a neutral site game. And so everyone should look at Purdue to win. And even though I thought Purdue has been overrated because they couldn't hang with the number one team or couldn't keep themselves number one with any consistency this past season, well, it seems like they're getting hot at the right time, regardless of Jay Will saying how bad the bracket is that they're in, the region they're in, and all that nonsense he's saying. I think they're kind of coming into their own now, and Gonzaga probably coming into their own as well. That's probably the best matchup this weekend.
Yeah, I think most people, if they watched Purdue in the first 2 rounds of the tournament, were thinking, are they going to get upset? Are they going to get, is it going
Yeah,
to happen again? Because it's happened
the St. Pete
three,
vibes.
3 times within the last 4 seasons, right?
Yeah,
But they steamrolled both opponents,
they're
one by
doing exactly what
28
they
and
should
by
do.
39. So can they keep that momentum going? They were obviously in a rhythm. Their opponents were overmatched. I don't know if Gonzaga will be overmatched, but if Purdue plays their best game, I think they should come out on top.
Yeah, they should. I mean, all arrows should point to Purdue also because they beat them earlier. But as I mentioned, for whatever merit it makes, Gonzaga did, play them. Gonzaga did lose twice to St. Mary's, but I think in this team would be the second time they played between one another. And Gonzaga was up 5-0 in that first game, but in college basketball, the second half means everything, and the adjustments made. And we see what happened. I mean, they ended up losing by 10, I believe it was, when they played the first time. But I'm just thinking that there may be something to be said after the Kentucky win and moving on and the confidence going into the tournament. And the shooting shows there's some damn confidence there, 50% from three. So, yeah, it's going to be intriguing at best. And that's why I think it's the best game in the tournament. And luckily not the only game as the Sweet 16 will go. You have Clemson taking on Arizona, another one of those quasi-Cinderella teams in Clemson. I mean, who the hell expects Clemson basketball to do anything? It's a basketball school now.
Dabo Sweeney should take some advice from the basketball coach. Is that what you're saying? Is that what you're saying? Can you hear me?
Your voice went out for a minute.
I said Dabo Sweeney should take some advice from the basketball coach, if that's what you're saying.
Yeah, well, he's too busy trying to address every phone caller who has something bad to say about it or who disagrees with what he's saying. So, this guy can't stay away from the little things. When he talks about the details, paying attention to the details. No, I don't mean the callers who disagree with you having to go down their throats because you don't like what they said. Bro, you get paid too much to have to worry about the so-called common person.
Yeah, but I'm really just focused. I couldn't tell you who's playing today. I just know North Carolina State plays Marquette tomorrow. And I think
another good game.
North Carolina, the way NC State has been playing, they can get Marquette. I've watched Marquette a couple of times, and maybe it's just the 2 times I watched, they couldn't shoot from the outside. They were putting up bricks. And if NC State can get DJ Burns going inside, that opens up the floor. They have a couple of shooters. DJ Horn, he has to shoot better than he did the other night. But I think I can see them in the Elite Eight.
You know what? And if Marquette is not, I'm not going to say it's going to be a pushover, but I think North Carolina State already has proven that they can get in the trenches and win a dirty game if it comes down to a dirty game. And if it comes down to a dirty game, that probably means Marquette is missing shots, as you said. You would think, damn, Dwayne Wade came from there. This guy's the 3rd best shooting guard in the history of basketball, according to most. And you can't find a shooter there. I remember a couple of years ago, they had that kid Howard who was shooting the lights out every time. Don't know what the hell happened to him. I thought he'd be in the NBA doing something in a serviceable role. But anyway, Marquette taking on North Carolina State tomorrow. Another good game. I mean, the games are good. It's just that when you talk about the names, it's just not the household names you remember from the past. When you talked about Duke and you said Christian Laettner, whether you're a Duke fan or not, people just knew the name. Hurley, people knew the name. Even in the UNLV teams, Larry Johnson or even the Fab Five, Jawan Howard and Rose, all those players, man. Chris Webber, people just knew the entire freaking roster.
Even the Arizona teams with Richard Jefferson,
Mike Bibby, bro,
and Mike Bibby and Miles Simon.
Yeah,
I don't know. Just basketball, college basketball is just not the same. But March Madness,
man.
Madness, I'll never miss it. It's one of a kind.
Yeah, it is. That tournament overall is one of a kind. And that's why it should stay where it is right now. It did go from 64 to 68. And I know Jay Will wants everybody in it. That's never going to happen, and it shouldn't happen. But, yeah, college basketball has changed because the way things have changed in the environment. People are not necessarily going to college. The best and the best talented players, most talented players, aren't going to the NCAA anymore. They have other options. Go down to Australia, overtime elite. Even though the G League elite is going to be gone after the season, I mean, people had other places to go, or even overseas where they're writing these contracts for these 15, 16-year-olds. That's where it's at now. If they're looking to make money still playing basketball and honing their skills against professional basketball players, bro, you get the best of both worlds. And you don't do the same when you come back to the NCAA. And you could see the quality of play on the court. Now, if nothing else, you get to see the coaching, though, whether a coach is great or not, and you get to see how Hurley's coaching, or even with Tom Izzo coaching the way he coaches, you get to see the coaching actually taking form on these players instead of just a Calipari where they're just so damn talented, man. I could go out there and we could probably get to the Final Four and use Calipari just to get him to the championship. Come on.
So years ago, I used to think, man, a top 5, a top 10 college basketball matchup was better than an NBA game. But I no longer feel that way. It's just not the same. I think it was Kansas was playing Marquette. It was a top 10 matchup. I said, well, let me watch this one. And the game was pretty much over by overtime, by halftime. Marquette couldn't shoot. And I was like, how's Marquette in top 5? So I've always been suspicious of Marquette. Not always, but since that game. But now you think about the NBA matchups, you know, if the T-Wolves are playing Sacramento, you got Ant against Swiper, or the Lakers going against the Suns, KD and LeBron.
Yep.
That just doesn't hold true anymore. The matchups, to me, are more consistently better in the NBA than in college.
Yeah, speaking of those NBA games, man, what about the other night without LeBron? The Lakers end up winning in Milwaukee. But, man, Anthony Davis and the Freak put up a show, bro. Those dudes good at it. He had, I think, 44 rebounds between the two of them. Bro, you talk about this is the NBA right now. This is the talent we have in the NBA. You know what? The Lakers kind of let you know they can kind of do it when they need to do it in a hostile environment without LeBron. It's not a bad thing, but it shows you that Anthony Davis, now that he hasn't been injured, he can actually carry a team.
The Lakers are kind of Jekyll and Hyde. You remember maybe about a month ago, AD and LeBron were out, and the Lakers won. And everybody was joking, they don't need LeBron. They don't need AD. And then they came back and they lost. And they've just been so inconsistent. You know, they have a good win and bad losses. You know, they're in the 9th position. I think they're the ultimate Jekyll and Hyde team, man.
I'm thinking
Jekyll and Hyde. The hell am I saying?
Bro. Don't bring your thesaurus. Don't bring your dictionary. Don't bring your correction. Don't bring your correction.
Jekyll and Hyde. What the?
But I tell you what, I think that might have a lot to do with before the All-Star game when teams were kind of resting one another, kind of lackadaisical. I know the Lakers were really trying to get that identity because they talked about it earlier before the season started that, this is a team that can really go to the championship. And they wanted to at least prove something so that other people can at least agree with them, in my opinion. Now that the All-Star game is over, down the stretch they come. We're talking about April is next freaking week. These dudes are getting serious, the entire NBA. And now we've seen those teams like Denver used to lose ones that they probably shouldn't have won, but they'll still keep winning because they're Denver and they're the defending champs. But now they're putting the pedal to the metal. They're stomping teams out now with consistency. I'm still a little worried about Milwaukee right now after this Lakers game, especially. I mean, you talk about the Lakers are number 9 now in the West. They come into Milwaukee with Giannis putting up a freaking game for the season, and they freaking lose.
Yeah, but I'm thinking about the Rockets, man. They can't lose. They're coming up fast on the Warriors. The Warriors might get bounced, especially if Draymond's gonna be doing his dumb shit like he did.
There we go with that. So what is the deal? What's your opinion on the latest idiocy of Draymond Green?
I don't know. I really don't know. Well, I don't know what his motivation is. Was he just was so mad he couldn't shut his mouth? He did a podcast and he was trying to explain, and he said he deserved it. And when he said what he said to get thrown out, he said he was trying to turn his body, but his mouth was moving before he turned, so the referee heard him. He's trying to explain it away, like, dude, just stop being an idiot, man. The sad thing was people were saying Steph was crying. He was so upset. I don't think he was crying. I don't think he was upset because he was sad. He was probably angry. You know,
pissed.
A lot of people when they get angry, they tear up.
Yeah, I see. Yeah, I know.
And you know, you see him kicking chairs later. I'm sure he's pissed off. You know, and then Draymond in the hallway after the game doing like this to Steph. Hey, good game, Steph. Steph dabbed him up right quick and kept walking.
You know what's going through his head, man.
If I'm done leaving, I package him and Chris Paul. Get him the fuck out of town.
See, Chris Paul, man, he shouldn't even be there.
See what I can get for them.
Yeah, but with Draymond Green going into this season and doing the nonsense he's done during the season that had gotten him suspended indefinitely, and he's now back now, he should know the onus is on him to even tolerate certain nonsense that might happen just because of the mark that's on him, being the problem that he has been. You know, sometimes you have to tolerate the crap, man, because you have that stigma on you now. But he seems to not be able to control his
thing is, like,
control himself.
People want to compare him to Rodman sometimes.
Nah.
Yeah, Rodman was stupid, but Rodman would also get 22 rebounds.
Yeah.
He played incredible defense. 6'8" guarding Shaq down in the post. Draymond doesn't do that. You know, he'll facilitate the offense some, but he's not the same player he was even 2 or 3 years ago.
Well, he got his bag, and I still think he wants to play, but I think he overrates himself, and I think because he overrates himself and he says it enough, some people even overrate him to talk about how great he is, future Hall of Famer. I think he has to be a future Hall of Famer now because of the rings and the team that he was on, and even the year that they did not win the championship but set the NBA regular season record, he's on that team. So all of those things are going to come into the equation when it comes down to whether he should go to the Hall of Fame or not. It seems like a no-brainer now. But there's so many better players, like you mentioned, Dennis Rodman. There's not even a comparison between the two, but he starts talking nonsense like he's better than Rodman.
Yeah, I believe he called himself the greatest defender of all time.
That's what he was saying. That's what I'm alluding to. Come on, you don't shade like that, man. We already know. People who watch basketball for years already know who you're comparing yourself to when you say nonsense like that.
He's a hell of a off-ball help defender. But as far as on the ball, I don't really see him lock nobody down. You know, like Rodman, he try and get in Bird's ass. He try to get in Magic's ass.
Everybody
he get in Michael's ass, like throwing him down. Like it's not an easy night. You might get your 25, you might get 30, but you're working your ass off for it tonight. Draymond don't play defense like that.
Yeah, and that's just who he is. You know, so but that's what you can do now, man. You have dudes calling out greats from the past and even trying to make comparisons with them. Wasn't it Anthony Edwards who talked that nonsense about MJ?
He said he'd cook him. I think.
Yeah, man.
That was John Morant. I don't know.
No, I think they might have both said it. This is the age we're in. They're taking turns talking this kind of nonsense.
And Anthony Edwards averages 25 points a game. That ain't really anything special. That's
in a league where everybody's pretty much doing the same.
Yeah, you can probably name 1,000 players that average 25 a game throughout the years of the NBA. When you start averaging 35, then I say you can talk. Nobody's gonna stop you if you can average 35.
Yeah, that's true. But even in today's NBA, where defense is not at a premium, it's just something that's supposed to be part of the game that people kind of neglect. Yeah, the NBA isn't what it once was, but we can't even argue that because I think overall we have better overall athletes, player for player, as we can see with certain players, man. On any given night, a player that's on the roster can just show up and just score like 30, 40 points. I mean, Dante DiVincenzo for the Knicks is one of those dudes. Not that he was bad, but I never saw him doing this before. I mean, he's done it multiple times now, scoring 25, 26, 30, and 40 points. I've seen him do it multiple times. I watched him at Villanova. I thought he was a damn NBA player, but not that kind of NBA player.
Yeah, I think the infusion of international players is what has raised the overall talent level of the NBA.
Oh, absolutely. No question.
You take out Luka, Giannis, Jokic, and I'm trying to think, someone's Canadian, even Wiggins, you know.
Yeah, Wiggins from Canada, yeah.
Yeah. You know, there's so many quality, great
from Australia.
great international players. You take them out the league, now what do you have?
Yeah, you have a bunch of people who don't know the fundamentals because at least looks like a lot of these kids that do come from overseas, at least they have the fundamentals. Now they're bringing their athleticism and their IQ to another level, and it's changing the NBA. Now people need to play catch up because the U.S. will always have these phenomenal athletes, people who will cross you over, look great doing it, and still miss the shot, but then get talked about for the next 25 years till everything hit the shot.
Pause it right there when he falls. Pause it right there.
You pause it, yeah, right? That's exactly what it is. But these Euros coming over, or people just international players, they're coming over with their games refined, and if they happen to be freakish athletes like Giannis, well, you're going to get that picture. You're going to see what he can do. And then you get someone like a Jokic who doesn't have the explosiveness, who's allegedly not that kind of athlete. You get the IQ. I still call him the greatest value pick in the history of the NBA. This dude was a second freaking rounder. And this dude's one of the greatest of all time already. You know, he's in the running, in the top, I don't know, what would you say right now? Top 30, top 40 of all time right now? I think top 40 is easy.
Top 40 easily.
He's got
to do it for a few more years.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
But if you're talking about just single seasons or a 2-year stretch, he definitely probably top 15.
Oh, really? Whoa. I wasn't looking at that, but hey,
if you're talking about this guy's best year and this guy's best year and this guy's best year, you know, not this guy's 12-year career. You know what I mean? Yeah. I think his peak, you can put him top 15 for his peak.
So by the time he gets to his 12th and 15th year, because at the rate he's doing right now, we're talking about even more championships, even more MVPs, and just destroying every stat because he's already passing stats that dudes will forever put up.
He'll move into the top 10, and if he does it for 12 years, he'll move into the top 5.
Bro,
like if it's 2032 and he's still getting MVPs, and you look at this is his 5th MVP, he's going for a 6th championship. He has 400 triple doubles or whatever. He's fucking top 5, man.
Yeah, you gotta say it. Now, when you talk about a player like that, we're looking at him being a European player coming here and kind of changing the game, the NBA, because it's changed overall as a league because of the influx of international players. Tim Duncan, where would you have him on the list? Is he close to a top 5? Definitely a top 10? Where would you have him?
He's top 10 for sure. If people want to say he's not top 10,
that's everything you want.
Top 12. Top 12 for sure. He's not below top 12. You know, the thing about him is they call him the big fundamental. Exactly. Nothing he did was flashy.
Jokic, nothing he's doing is flashy.
At the end of the game, you look at his numbers, 27, 17, and 4 blocks. You know, his team's in the championship again. He's up there, man. He didn't do anything flashy, no crazy dunks, no up and unders, but he would fade away and hit the glass on your ass consistently. You know, you mentioned Jokic. Jokic, we joke about it all the time. He plays in slow motion, but you can't stop him.
You can't stop him. And you look at the numbers. You're like,
the same for Duncan. You know, he wasn't doing no dream shakes and faking this way, coming back the other way, and dunking on Robinson. Man, he'd just back you down, turn and shoot off the glass. You couldn't do nothing about it.
I was reading some of the comments when I was looking at Tim Duncan, and I was looking at the comments of some people who were talking about him. Dude was like, yo, I went to a Tim Duncan game with the San Antonio Spurs. It was like, yo, bro, it was like the quietest 15 rebounds he's ever seen. It was like 20-some odd points, 15 rebounds. Yeah. It was the quietest he's ever seen, and they won the game freaking handily. You know, and how do you move up that list? Because you have the championships, you have the respect of the league, you're dominating. In that small period of time they've done it. I mean, outside of MJ getting 2 sets of 3, you know, it was San Antonio that's played closest to him.
So let's say the Nuggets win this year. Now people are going to start talking like, where does he belong in the pantheon of NBA greats?
Yeah.
And if he wins another MVP and they go to the conference finals, or, you know, if they win next year, people are going to be talking dynasty. That team's young enough with Murray and KCP and Porter Jr. They have a good nucleus where they're young enough they can go on a good 5-year run.
Yeah, and whoever wants to come along and jump on board, especially in this environment as a veteran. You know, LeBron may end up in Denver. You just don't know, man. With these players today, Kevin Durant might want to get another ring and jump on board as well. You just don't freaking know. But you know what? I'm wondering, is it kind of like boxing? I know we've kind of gone on a bit of a diatribe with the NBA and just kind of stopped on this. But like in boxing, you have your Mount Rushmore of boxers. I know it kind of changes every now and then, but if you had a consensus of just experts giving you the top 4 guys that belong in the Mount Rushmore, at least 3 of those guys are going to be the same guys across the board, and maybe you can just use a wild card guy to kind of throw in it. He'll still be a great in the NBA. How do you breach that top 4 or top 3 or top 2? How do you breach it? Is it like MJ, and some people might say LeBron, or is it Kareem, and it might be Kobe? How the hell do you breach that? And for any player now that's playing, how do you get in?
I don't know. I really don't know. I'm thinking
like
about
club, man. You keep winning, winning championships. They still won't let you in.
Because, like, right now, you got a lot of LeBron fans saying he's the GOAT. But then you got a lot of Kobe fans like, he's not even better than Kobe. How can he be better than Michael? And then Kareem's like, yo, I got 6 rings and I got 6 MVPs.
And all the scoring in a
how do you keep Kareem out of it?
Exactly. That's what I'm saying. So for players now moving forward, especially these Euros who are bringing a different style of basketball than we've ever seen, that's why the entire NBA is changing. I'm just wondering how you're able to breach that top 4, top 3, let alone 1 and 2. And that's depending on who you think is 1 and 2. Yeah, the LeBron fans will say he's either number 1. They're not going to say number 2, but someone else might say that he's number 2 because MJ is number 1. But then you still have Kareem, you still have Kobe. I've heard Kobe's like some people saying like number 8. I'm like number 8. So okay, who's the 7 guys in front of him? I can name 2. Well, at least name MJ. Probably LeBron because of longevity.
I don't know. It really depends on who you're talking to, right? It's for one, it's subjective anyway. There's always It's not factual. Nope. And if you ask Jordan,
but it's reasonable though. It has to be reasonable.
Yeah, but if you ask Jordan, he says, I'm not going to say I'm better than Kareem. I never played against Jerry West. I never played against these guys. Michael never called himself the GOAT. But if you ask him, can he beat so-and-so in a one-on-one game? Oh, yeah, he has the ultimate confidence.
But that's what made him who he is, though.
Right, but he's not ever going to say, yeah, I was better than Kareem. Oh, Jerry West can't fuck with me. You know, he might think that in his head, but he won't say it. But you don't think Kobe? You don't think Kobe thinks that way? Kobe was like,
Kobe thinks that way.
Kobe was like, why are you guys scared of him? He's just a man. Talking about why people were scared of Jordan. And he went at Jordan. Yeah, Jordan was a lot older, but Kobe had no fear. And Jordan had no fear. I just don't know. There's no way to come to a consensus.
Yeah.
But we could have a panel of 10 guys. We could iron it out, come to an agreement on the top 4, and in the comments, they'd be telling us we're full of shit.
Yep, they're telling you full of shit, and they'll be naming people who are not even in the top 4. They'll be having some outlier dude who's also great, but then you have to wonder, does he belong in that top pantheon of 4 players? And that's true, but I think MJ goes about it the right way, and I think mostly because in his prime, there is no social media. He's letting the people who watched him and people who are supposed to know this thing place him where they think they need to place him. And right now, it seems like there is a consensus of people who watched him play during his time that are giving him that number 1 slot. But you're getting this new age, kind of like baseball, where these old curmudgeons who were in there wouldn't let Pete Rose in. But as time goes on, maybe this new generation or the next generation may just let Pete Rose in because they're a little bit more magnanimous than the curmudgeons. Now, you
know what? I just thought of it. We might have to get a couple guys and have a show come up with the top 10.
Yeah, I think we need a lot of guys, man.
Top 4, like Mount Rushmore of basketball.
Yep, that's definitely going to have to be a show then, because we can have 6 people, 8 people, just give your point of view, give the reason why you're picking the 4 that you're picking, and roll with that.
Yeah, and then we'll do it like we did the top 10 quarterbacks. Like we'll rank them like number 6 gets 1 point, number 5 gets 2 points.
Yeah,
on the way up.
And people still trying to shit on my dog, shit on my Elway, man. Get out of here with that. Come on, my dude.
Elway's not number 1, bro.
He was number 1 until, in my opinion, Brady came along. Come on. That's how I thought it was. But yeah, this basketball deal, yeah, that's something we could put together. And if people in the comments, whatever, they're going to do it. Some people may just do it to troll. Some people may actually believe what they're saying, but they can still hear what you're saying, regardless of how much sense you're making. They're still going to not like what's been said. And they're just natural contrarians.
The bullshit that annoys me is you got people out here, they'll take a video of like a 30-second clip in the NBA. Look how trash they were in the 80s. Or, the whole Michael can't go left thing. Come on, man. If you watch Michael, he could go left. It's retarded. Yeah. But they won't show you LeBron going through his legs, and then try to make a move on Steph, and Steph just takes the ball away from him.
Thievery, man.
Right. So what are we doing here?
You know what? I saw a video just last week of AI and how he said he's admitting, I couldn't go left. And I forgot who was the player who told him that that he knew he couldn't go left, and he had to work on all that deal. But he looked at his crossover, and it was like kind of the same crossover all the time, but it was always going right. He gave the impression as if he could use his left hand. I think that was part of the fake, that he could use his left hand. But he was like, bro, I could never really use my left hand on that. I kind of used that to set it up, came back to the right, putting dudes on skates, knocking dudes down, the whole deal. Yeah, man. But he was like, I never was really good at going left. It's craziness with one of the craziest handles of all time telling you that.
If I had to guess, I'd say it was probably Kobe who told him.
I can't remember.
Like Kobe, he was just so locked in on everything. Like he broke things down.
Yeah, that's how he came out the game.
That's how he came out with detail. God rest his soul before he passed away. And I like that shit. He would break plays down, and he would break it down too. Look at his footwork. He crossed his legs over. If he didn't cross his legs over, if he just took a step and then went, he would have got there in time to contest the shot. Like he broke it down to the most basic things.
You know what? And not that I don't like it. It's just crazy how you have somebody like Kobe who has all that talent. He could probably go do well with the talent he had without even putting in the exact work. But this dude had the talent and put in the work. He overdid it. This dude overachieved with the talent he already had. And this is what you got. But part of that overachieving isn't just going to the gym for 10 hours a day like he was doing. It would also have looking down at the video, being able to watch his play and know what you're looking for, and go out there and have the advantage. Anybody can do it. Now you're going to have the talent, to do it, to be able to stop a person that you know what they're going to do. But, man, anyone can do it. And you would think someone like him wouldn't do that. And then you think about the way he thought about Shaq being lazy. Shaq wasn't doing that.
Right. Yeah, Kobe was maniacal, man, about his workouts, getting his training done and film work and talking to Michael, getting advice, how did you do this? How did you do that? And that's why his game looks so similar. Michael shared his Michael shared his knowledge with him.
Yeah, and I'm hearing the stories of Kobe, like they would lose a game, and then in the next city, he would come into that damn city 3:00 in the morning or whatever, go to the freaking gym and freaking shoot. Bro, you just had a game in a freaking city. You probably have another game tonight or even the day after, but you go to the next city and you get in the key to the gym or some local high school gym or whatever to practice because you pissed off that you might have lost the game or didn't play the way you wanted to play. That was insane. But yeah,
I think Jay Williams is caught up in that ESPN bullshit where they try to make the news and make the narrative instead of just reporting on it and giving honest opinions. But his story about Kobe, that's probably one of the best stories I've heard about Kobe.
I haven't heard it.
Oh, he said they were in town to play the Lakers when he was with the Bulls before his motorcycle accident.
Yeah.
And he went to the gym, trying to get some shots up early, and Kobe was up top running. And he's like, in my workout, my shooting regimen was like an hour and a half. And Kobe, I saw Kobe up there. He already had a good lather, was sweating. And when I was done, he was still running. He's like, damn, man, this dude don't stop. And so after the game, I guess he talked to Kobe. He's like, hey, man, how long were you up there? He's like, I was ready to leave until I saw you come in. And then I wasn't going to leave until I saw you leave.
Damn, see, that's that mentality you can't teach, man.
Right.
That's the dog of dogs right there. Alpha dog, whatever you
See
call
what
it.
I'm saying is when people talk about Mamba mentality, that's it right there, personified.
Yeah, we need some boxers with that kind of mentality, man. We need some, Roger Mayweather, Mamba mentality. I don't know if it was exactly like that, but damn, we need somebody like that. Regardless, man. But yeah, Kobe, man, that's a mindset. Do you even teach yourself? You either have it in you or not, man. I think you can't mimic someone and try to do it because ultimately you're going to get tired of it because it's just not who you are. But there are some people who probably would take someone like Kobe to emulate and just continue to do it over and over and hone their skills and get that dog and probably go as far as they can with that ability if they have it.
So let's look at Anthony Edwards. If Anthony Edwards had that same mentality, think about how much better he would be.
Yeah.
Like you can look at him. Yeah, he's a great player, but he's not Kobe.
Are there stories out there about him not playing hard or not practicing hard?
No. I'm not saying that. I'm saying Kobe was maniacal about it.
Yeah, the Kobe mentality. Yeah, that's different.
I'm saying if Anthony Edwards was like Kobe, he'd be a flipping assassin, man. Like people would be scared of the T-Wolves, even without Karl Anthony Towns. Like Anthony Edwards would be like, "Don't worry about it, Cat. You get healthy. I got this.
I'll take care of that." Yeah.
But you don't see him going out dropping 45, dropping 40. He's just
with that anger.
He just does what he does. He's not a merciless assassin like Kobe.
Yeah, that's
but
true.
If he was, think about how much better he would be.
Man, he's already damn good now. He's already damn good now. So yeah, if he put that pedal to the metal,
you're talking about. Can you imagine if players had the? Most players don't, right?
And no, they don't.
Most players aren't. But I just thought of Ant, like somebody so physically gifted. If he had that same mentality, nobody could ever mess with him, man.
Still wonder how the hell he ended up at Georgia, man. Come on now. That's what I've always wondered. Like, bro, this guy with the Georgia, that kind of ability, Georgia's in exactly the school you go to freaking play basketball. I mean, Dominique did, but it's different then than it was now. It is now. But anyway, yeah, that's the NBA for you. So we could close out the show getting into the NFL rules changes. I've kind of briefed it a bit, didn't kind of commit it to memory, but I did see some 25-yard, 20 yards, and 30-yard line deals on this kickoff return. Bruh.
So they bid it from the XFL.
XFL, yeah.
So the kicker lines up at the 35. The kick returner, the ball has to be within the 20-yard line and the goal line. If it falls within there, whether he catches it or not, he has to return it. If he doesn't get to it and it bounces into the end zone, he still got to pick it up and return it. But the other 10 guys, they line up 5 yards across from each other. Mm-hmm. But they can't move until the guy picks up the ball or catches the ball. Jeez. Then it's all hell breaks loose. I don't know. You probably
can the safety part.
Look up XFL on YouTube. You probably see some clips. I haven't had a chance to do it yet. But my thing is, like, you can only block a guy for so long, right?
Yeah.
And then if all 10 guys get past their blockers, what's the returner gonna do? Oh shit, here they come. Just take the knee.
You'll get jumped, man. That's what it's gonna be. But now is that 20-yard deals if they kick it between the uprights on the kickoff? Is that where it goes to the 20
No. It has to go. It has to fall between the 20-yard line and the end zone.
Okay.
So let's say the guy, he lines up at the 10.
Yeah.
If it goes into the end zone, he doesn't have to return it.
Yeah. And where does the ball go? Where does it start?
If it lands at the 21, he doesn't have to return it. But if it's between the 20 and the goal line, he better catch it and start running.
Yeah, that's true. That's a suicide mission. So now they're the NFL going again with the hypocrisy, CTE. We don't want to hurt guys, but yeah, we did add an extra game. And now we're even looking to add another game to make it 18 games in the season. We'll just take 2 preseason games off where the freaking players don't even play anyway.
They can still kick the ball out of the end zone.
Yeah.
But then they get the ball at the 30.
Yeah, at the 30 if they kick it out of the end zone, but does it have to go through the uprights or it just has to go out of the end zone?
No, if it actually goes into the end zone, the guy can catch it and still return it. But if it goes into the end zone or out of the end zone, like most kicks do nowadays, he doesn't have to return shit. He can't return if it's out of the end zone.
So it gives us a chance to see a possible another Devin Hess to come through the pipeline.
Probably. I mean, there's talk that people are going to try and find that diamond in the rough in the 5th, 6th, 7th rounds of who's really fast. We can put back there.
Put Worthy out there. Xavier Worthy, man. This year will be your first job. You dropping balls in practice, put you out there in a freaking kickoff return. See how that works out.
Yeah, there's another rule change. Oh, so we talked about the hip drop last week, right?
Yeah,
on Monday.
On Monday.
You know, you got people saying, and I mentioned it, there weren't hip drops back in the day because you could clothesline people, and I made the joke, you can't clothesline the dude from behind. What are you gonna do? Push him forward? But then I thought about they're saying these little DBs, how are they gonna tackle, these tight ends that are huge these days, even some wide receivers. What did Darryl Green do? He wrapped you up by the legs. That's what I said. That's how you tackle. You wrap him up by the legs.
To get around your waist, Darryl Green. He was fast enough to catch up.
But still, I mean, if you're close enough to grab by the hips, you're close enough to wrap up the waist.
Yeah. But he had plays in speed that could get him to that point. These guys who aren't Darryl Green, man, as fast as the closest they can get is like, man, just diving at the last second trying to get you.
If you're close enough to grab by the waist and then swing your hips forward and land on top of their legs, you can just slide down and squeeze their legs. I mean, it's not that hard.
I'm going to have to see this in practice, man, how the actual practice of this is going to go.
You guys who are saying, oh, the NFL is too soft, blah, blah, look up Darryl Green. Just look up Darryl Green highlights.
I've seen Darryl Green.
See how he wrapped up. Watch how he wrapped up. Even Gary Fensick's no ass. Watch how Gary Fensick tackled. If he would take a shot at you, but if he couldn't line you up and get a hit, he'd tackle you down low. All he did was wrap up your legs. Your legs can't move. You're going down.
But he was able to get there.
Not that hard.
He's able to get there. It's just the other guys who can't exactly get there, and there's an opportunity for this player to probably get
to the end. Maybe you don't belong in the NFL. Gary Fensick, really? He wasn't no speed burner.
Yeah, but I'm just thinking that, damn, man, it's just a different NFL with these small.
I'm just saying Darryl Green was what, 5'9"?
5'9", 180.
He can't. Nobody said, "Oh, he can cover, but he can't tackle." Nobody ever said.
Man, people knew about him overall, man. He was just a
saying, like even on running plays, he'd come up and tackle. Just because he's little doesn't mean he can't tackle.
Nah, hell, he was willing to tackle and he could tackle. So
that's probably the key word: willing to tackle.
Yeah, well,
Eddie Jackson, punk ass.
They would do the Ole.
Man, he's gone. See ya.
Yeah,
Speaking
right.
of the Bears, what the hell is Ryan Poles doing? Jaden Daniels has a pro day and he doesn't go. He sends one of his scouts.
Could that be a smokescreen?
But last week he's over there hugging on Caleb Williams and basically, man,
you know what? That's a smokescreen, man. That's way too much. That has to be some kind of smokescreen.
DICK riding, man, in real life, right there.
That's gotta be a smokescreen. I would not be surprised. Freaking Daniels, number one pick of the draft, and Caleb about to go up there. Jaden Daniels.
My thing is, you can love Caleb Williams, you can love whichever quarterback may, but do your homework on all of them. If you go see Williams, go see Daniels, go see May. He's not going to go see May either.
He's not.
And at this time, Daniels has meetings set with the Commanders, with the Patriots, like 3 or 4 other teams. And who's not on that list? The Bears. You're not even going to meet with him?
Smoke screen, man. It's got to be a smoke screen. It's too obvious. Too damn obvious, man. They're playing bad poker.
You don't have to have a smoke screen. You got the number one pick.
The number one pick overall. That's true.
Who are you trying to fool? You going to end up fooling yourself?
Yeah. But Drake made me look like a Patriot player overall. I don't know whether he'll go there or not.
I see a lot of mock drafts that have him going to the Commanders.
Commanders, man, well, they need all the help they can get now that Sam Howell's not there after all the work he had done under Eric Bieniemy. But my
thing is, if Caleb Williams doesn't work out, and Jaden Daniels and Drake May and JJ McCarthy all work out in their situations, I'm going to say, why weren't you at the pro day? Why didn't you meet with Jaden Daniels?
You won't have to
Why
say it.
didn't
Dude
you
will
meet
get
with
fired
Drake
over that.
May?
He'll get fired over that, man.
Exactly. Dude, do your homework, man. What is going on?
Well, next week is April. The draft is in April. So the gamesmanship and the reality with the number 1 pick overall, man, like you said, you got all the cards. You can play every game you want to play.
Whoa. Let me say this. I'm trying to speak into existence. I tweeted it. Tell people at work, they're like, man, it sounds good, but they would never do it. Number 1 and number 9 to the Chargers for Justin Herbert and number 5. Who's gonna fuck with that offense? And then we take Malik Neighbors.
Jim Harbaugh, you know what?
And then we take Malik Neighbors at 5. Who's gonna fuck with that offense?
Man, I'm thinking that the reason Jim Harbaugh takes that San Diego job is because of Justin Herbert. That's the reason why he did it. And that kind of a play that you can build a team with, and that with the right coach, you already know. I mean, Air Coryell all over again.
They're rebuilding.
Yeah, they're rebuilding, man, but they want to rebuild with that centerpiece of what's known than what isn't known just yet.
I'm just
These
saying,
are nice names and talented guys.
It's going to happen. I'm speaking into existence.
Oh, trying to talk it into existence. Trying to do a little Miss Cleo work here.
I don't want no rookie, man. I don't want a rookie.
Yeah, because that rookie gives you, well, you know what? That rookie, as we saw last year with CJ Stroud, I think that he put pressure on these rookies coming in, or even these organizations, to find the next CJ Stroud that's going to at least give you something in that first year. Now, we don't know what's going to happen in the second year. Remember, Rick Meyer had a pretty good first year and then ended up having a pretty bad career overall. So, it can happen. But, man, I just think that, if you get a CJ Stroud kind of player, who's best to do what CJ Stroud had done? I just don't think it's Caleb Williams. People look for the dumbest reasons of why you don't agree that Caleb Williams is the best quarterback in the draft. Why? Because of the nail polish he wore? Because he said this? What the hell does that got to do with anything? Oh, my God, man. People just find anything because they're jocking someone so hard. They want you to just join on. And if you don't, it has to be some ridiculous reason for why you're not doing it. I've watched the games, man. I think he's a damn good quarterback, but I think that Daniels I've seen him against better competition be a better quarterback.
That's where I fall. That's where I stand.
That's it. I mean, it's that damn simple. But these guys who supposedly know more than us will be making that move next month, and it won't be a mystery anymore. I think this draft is going to be in Las Vegas.
I'm not sure where it is.
I think it is. Well, regardless of where it is, whoever's getting taken is getting taken. And this JJ McCarthy thing is still bugging the hell out of me, man. I'm like, this guy kind of like regressed, in my opinion, watching him play football this past season in terms of his passing. His speed has never been an issue to me. I've always thought he was a hell of a damn athlete running the ball, but I thought he had to refine his passing, but apparently these coaches see something in him in these personal meetings and going out and throwing the ball and probably going to the chalk room and know what the hell he's doing. They believe it's going to transfer over to the NFL. I mean, it's all a crapshoot anyway, isn't it? I mean, you picked the number 1 picks overall. Jamarcus Russell, he didn't even do anything when he went to the combine because he was already just a consensus number 1. And it wasn't like he was a dumb guy. He was just a lazy guy. You couldn't see that or kind of get that vibe from all the coaches you've spoken to and all the things you've talked to him about.
And hold on. What's up with Harrison Jr., man? Didn't participate in the pro day. Didn't go to the combine.
I don't know. You know what, though?
Is he trying to fall in the draft, go to a better team?
Yeah, bro, if you watch them play, you already know what you're getting. I mean, you would like to believe. And then that pedigree of his father may still bleed into this as well. You just know that, bro, we know what we have right here. We've seen him play. And I'm just thinking the injuries is more of an issue than people are bringing up right now. This guy's got injured with things that falling down. Oh, the guy's hurt for a damn week. Or he just now running into the goalpost, getting hit and all that kind of stuff. Another thing, but I think he's been injured a little bit when probably should have toughed it out. That's just me. This is football. You're supposed to be able to tough those things out. But as far as overall talent, he's number 1 by far in front of neighbors.
My mentality is, if you don't want to be on my team, I don't want you on my team.
Oh, absolutely. We've seen that.
Come on, Malik Neighbors. Come on, Roman Dunze.
I remember when I was talking about Cedric Benson when I was at that draft and took a picture. I rarely take pictures with athletes, but I took a picture of that dude. He didn't want to be in Chicago, Brand, and he kind of let it be known, not only in that picture, He just wasn't happy. But when he went up there, he was a kind of a workman up there as well. So when he did play, but man,
I was like, good seasons.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. He had a couple of good seasons. I guess once you get in the groove and you're playing, you know what? You just do what you do because that's what you're there for. But when he had gotten drafted, man, he didn't smile the entire time that I was around him or even with him, man. He just, people congratulate him. He was giving him the ice every time. Like, sheesh, you don't want to go, man. I wonder if the cold weather, the organization, or what. I mean, these players, coming from Texas, going up there, man, it's a big change. But anyways, let's shut it down because the NCAA tournament starting at 7 o'clock Eastern, or is it 7:30 Eastern, which will be 6:30 your time or 6 o'clock Eastern. So we'll get a chance to see those games that are coming up to complete this Sweet 16 because come Monday, we're going to know who's in the Final Four.
Right.
We're going to know who's in the Final Four, and not too late after that, we're going to realize who's going to be in the championship game. But these games should keep you entertained in between time and in the meantime. So once again, he's biased. I'm Trav, and the Sports Bag Bros podcast will be signing out on this Thursday. Until next time, deuces.
Peace.